Hello, good evening. So this is academically the last session before your prelims exam. This is time and work today. You already know that. So we'll have a session tomorrow. There will be the test analysis of grade up, and next week onwards we'll do some sessions based on test taking. So I'll not call them academic in the sense that we would not talk about concepts, but we talk about maximizing the marks while taking the test. So that's a different, slightly different thing as compared to learning the basics. So we'll not do anything in terms of learning the basics next week onwards, and for the next 1 or 2 weeks we'll do some tests, shortcuts, some ways to deal with the questions using options and stuff like that. So I think that's badly required at this stage, and that's the reason we did not do all those tougher problems like blood relations with arrangement and everything, because the reason is very simple. Even if I do it, I do not think that you will be required to do it in the prelims exam. Mains, you'll have more time, you'll have much more time as compared to prelims, and the paper would be tougher probably, so you'll need to do it. But at this stage probably you need to maximize your scores, you need to focus on test taking and all. So that's the reason that you're not doing a couple of those slightly difficult topics. Fine, so this is the last one, time and work. Let's finish this off quickly. This is a very simple topic. In fact, I did my research, I could not find anything which is challenging in this topic, so it's actually very simple. Let's see if we can finish this up, the first arithmetic class that we can finish in 1.5 hours. Let's see, let's proceed, and I'll start away straight away start with the questions only. It's such a simple topic that I do not think that you need to be told anything. Fine, so let's start with a very simple question. Do not say, just a word of caution, do not say इतना आसान नहीं आता है. This irritates me. जो मैं भी करता हूँ यहाँ पर, या तो वो लेवल होता है जो आता है या फिर उसके ऊपर होता है. I do not do anything that's not up to the mark. So do not say इतना आसान नहीं आता है. Test series में you get difficult questions, that's why you get a feeling like that इतना ही आसान आता है. Fine, so all the previous questions that were there in SBI PO last 2 or 3 years are there in this in some form or the other. Fine, so please realize that and believe in me if you think I've been fair in all this. Fine, so it's actually a simple topic. So this is the first question, a very simple one. Do not say ये क्या है, ऐसा भी आ जाता है कई बार. Fine, so even questions of this level also do come at times. Okay, so let's do it. All of you know the answer would be 6 days. I know all of you can do this question. Now there are multiple ways that you can do this. Fine, what I wanted to tell you today in this session, through this session, is the approach that I generally use in these questions. Fine, so one is that you use things like that, let's say A does something in 10 days, so A's 1 day work becomes 1/10. Fine, B does it in 15 days, so this becomes 1/15. All of you did this in school as well. You add the two. When you add the two, you get A plus B's 1 day work here, and you find the reciprocal, and that gives you the answer. So that's a very standard stereotype approach which all of you know, all of you can do it very quickly even through that, but that's not something that I prefer in these questions. I'll tell you, I'm sure most of you or many of you would at least know about this. What we do in such questions, or the approach that I think works fastest, is this. We know that A does some work in 10 days. Fine, now this guy B who does it in 15 days. So this is the data that is given to us. What I do is that I take the amount of work as something. Fine, so this work can be something, so I take this as a multiple of this 10 and this 15. So the easiest multiple generally when you have to do any such thing would be the LCM. So this is one area where you should use this LCM approach. So if you look at this 10 and 15, the LCM of these two would be 30. So what I assume here in all these cases mentally is that the quantum of work here is 30 units. So this is again units, this is again unitary system, which comes in very handy when it comes to time and work. So you assume through this 10 and this 15, take their LCM very quickly. All of you know how to do it quickly. So that's 30 units. So you assume here that the quantum of work, this work is 30 units. Fine. So it means here that if A takes 10 days to do it and the work is of 30 units, can I say 30 by 10 is 3? Yes, it's simple. So it means that A would be doing 3 units of work per day. This is what it means to me. Likewise, B, if I talk here, what is this? This is 15 days. He takes 15 days to do 30 units of work. So what it means is that 30 by 15 is 2. So it's simple. A does 3 units in a day, B does 2 units in a day. So this 30 is satisfied here. This is a hypothetical number, please realize that. But this would be good enough for us to give our answer. So what you know now is that A does 3 units daily, B does 5 units daily, B does 2 units daily, And what it facilitates doing is that we do not need to now deal with fractions here. So you realize while looking at this that I do not need to do with this 1 by 10, 1 by 15, which to me at least is not as comfortable a number as these. Fine. So a plus b together would do 5 units in a day. We know this and we can do this mentally. Now if the work is 30 units and a plus b together do 5 units, the answer would be 30 by 5 is equal to 6. I'm sure many of you would have learned this somewhere, would be using this already, and that's the only thing that you do in this case. People call it efficiency as well, you can call it whatever. I do not call it anything, I just think like this. When I look at this, I'm just erasing this and just telling this again. The moment I look this 10 and 15, the number that comes to my mind is the LCM, that is 30. Now this 30 becomes the quantum of work. This is my work. This is the first step that you do. Fine. After that, 30 by 10 is 3. Fine. So A's 1 day work becomes 3. So that's the first step. And this is 15. 30 by 15 is 2. So B's 1 day work becomes 2. You add the 2. If you add these two, A plus B's 1 day work becomes 3 plus 2. That's 5. So that's something that you know now. Now if their 1 day work is 5 and the total work is 30, 30 by 5 is equal to 6. That's your answer. Calculate your answer like this. You would get it mentally most of the times. Most of the times you will get it mentally, or at least you will do it very fast. कैसे करेंगे? 10 से the number that comes to mind is 30. 10 by 30 by 10 and 30 by 15. 2 plus 3. 30 by 5 is 6. Fine. You cannot do it so fast using fractions. So इसके लिए you should use this method. I am giving you the next one. Tell me the answer quickly of this one. This is your next question. Tell me the answer. I will include pipes and cisterns and whatever I think is relevant. Okay, Rohit, I'll tell you the way to calculate LCM fast as well. I'll tell you. Quantum means क्या बोलूँ? Extent. कितना number है? कितनी quantity है? Okay, I think most of you are getting the correct answer. What is it that you are saying is the answer? 56 by 11. Okay, 56 by 11. Think about it again. Let me see if somebody has given the correct answer. Yes, Saurabh, you are right. 10 whole 1 by 7. Somebody just showed me the formula of this thing. I know that formula. I would still advise listen to me for these 90 minutes or so, and just keep that formula with you. This is okay. I do not mind if you know the formula as well, but do not use it here. I know that formula, but there's a reason why I'm not telling it to you. Right? Okay, give me the correct answer. Most of you are incorrect here. I mean, what is that? This is a very simple question. जैसे भी आपने करना है करिए. Give me the correct answer. Many of you have given me the correct answer, but not all. Fine. This is such a simple question that all of you should just give me the correct answer for this. गौरव आपका नाम भी ले लूंगा, मेरे को करेक्ट आंसर दीजिए. All right, the answer is 10 whole 1 by 7. Yes, that's the correct answer to this question. Let me just show you very quickly how do we do this. Now it's a very similar question to the last one. The thing is that now it talks about alternate days with which quite a few people have problems. Fine. So the reason why I do not use that formula is that the moment it comes to alternate days, something like that goes for a toss. The method and everything. So use logic here rather than something else. Let's see how we do this. Look at what is happening here. A takes 8 days, B takes 14 days. So this is B 14 days. Now, though it should click to you that their LCM here is 56 and the quantum of work that we take here should be 56, but since somebody just asked me इसको जल्दी से कैसे calculate करते हैं कि work कितना है, let me just tell you here this thing very briefly. What is 8 and what is 14? Can I say, I mean just I'll not tell you complete factorization, but just to kind of give you an idea how to do it very quickly. 8 क्या होता है? I mean if I have to just talk about this 8, this is okay, this is 4 into 2, that's 8, right? What is this 14 here? That's 7 into 2. Now if you are looking for LCM, this 2 here is common. You should realize quickly that this 7 should come here. Now that if you ask me what's the correct way of doing it, the correct way would be, okay, let me just show it to you. What is 8? 8 is 2 cube. What is 14? 14 is 2 into 7. So if you have to find the LCM with a proper way, the way would be that you take the all the prime numbers from here. For example, if you take this 7, fine, the 7 comes here. If you take this 2, you take the higher power in the two numbers. So if you look at this thing, here the power of 2 is 2 and here the power of 2 is 2 cube. So the LCM would be 7 into 2 cube. Had this been, just to kind of make you understand how do we do this quickly. For example, let the number, let's for a moment assume the number is 2 square into 3 raised to the power 4 and the second number is 2 raised to the power 4 into 3 raised to the power 5. If you have to calculate the LCM of these two numbers, what would it be? You take 2, which is the higher power, 4th power. So you take 2 raised to the power 4 from here. You take 3 raised to the power 4 and 3 raised to the power 5, which is the higher power, 3 raised to the power 5. So LCM becomes this thing. I hope this is understood. This is a very simple concept, but just for the clarity, I mean, if you want to do this for 8 and 14, you actually don't need anything. It should directly it should click to you that it's 56. So here, this is 2 cube, it's 2, it's 7. You can break it up quickly. You take 2 cube from here, higher power of 2. यहाँ तो 7 की पावर है ही नहीं, this is 7 raised to the power 0 or 0 nothing, fine. So from here you take 2 cube, here you take 7, so 2 cube into 7, that's 8 into 7, 56 becomes the LCM of this thing. So this is about the LCM here. Let me just erase this now. Okay, I think I was muted, just a second. Okay, yeah, okay, let me erase this in this. This was 8 days and this was 14 days. Now you know what the work is. The work is given to you as 56 units. Fine. So let's proceed now. Can I say that since A takes 8 days to complete this work, the work that he'll be daily doing would be 56 by 8, that's 7 units. So that's A's 1 day work. What is B's 1 day work? 56 by 14, that's 4 units. Now if I add these two, 7 plus 4, it gives me 11. What is this 11? Can I say A plus B ka 1 day work is 11? Now the important thing here is that they are working on alternate days. So it's not their 1 day work. So basically I can say that A starts first. इसमें लिखा हुआ है ना that A starts first. So when A starts, first day he'll do 7 units. Second day B comes, he'll do 4 units. Third day A comes, he does 7 units. Fourth day B comes, he does 4 units. So can I say this 7 plus 4, 11 units that I'm talking about is the work that these two guys do in 2 days together? Yes. First day A comes, does 7 units and second day B comes and does 4 units. So this is 11 units in 2 days. for these two people. Now you do it like this because if you know you cannot count it, you cannot keep tracking it, it can be huge numbers. So the way you work is that once you calculate in case of alternate problems, the moment you calculate their 2-day work, this 2-day work which is 11 in this case, you divide this 56 by 11. Fine, you divide this 56 by 11, what you realize is that the quotient is 5. Fine, this is the quotient here, and the remainder would be 1. What is it? This is basically, this 56 is nothing but 11 into 5 plus 1. Fine, this is it. So what you know is that if 5 such cycles of 2-day works are done, 55 units out of these 56 units would be done. Fine, 11 into 5, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? 5 cycles of 2-day work. One 2-day cycle is 11 units. So 11 into 5 is 55. This 55. What is left now? 56 minus 55, which is 1. अब ये 1 जो बचा हुआ है ये कौन करने वाला है? It would be the guy who comes on the next day. Who is that guy here? He is A, because A B A B A B ऐसे ही चल रहा है ना. So what is happening is that 5 cycles of these 2 days. So 5 into 2, how many days would it be? 10 days. On the 11th day, A would come and A would finish the work. Now since A does 7 units of work in 1 day, for doing 1 unit of work, this 1 unit of work, how much time would it take? Can I say 1 by 7? So the answer would be 10 plus 1 by 7, which can quickly be written as 10 whole 1 by 7. So that's your answer in this case. I hope this is understood by all, and this is the way that I do it. You can choose to do some other method, but it works well in even the complicated problems. Fine, I am erasing this, just explaining very quickly. 8, 14. So these are the two numbers in terms of days. You take LCM, LCM comes to 56. What you know is that when you divide 56 by this 8, you get 7 units. So that's A's 1-day work. Fine. Now you divide this 56 by 14. What do you get? 4. So this 4 is B's 1-day work. Fine. A plus B, here you add them up, you get 11. So this 11 is one day work of both A and B. So here, since they are working on alternate days, can I say this is their 2-day work together? Fine. 2-day का cycle कैसा होगा? First A comes, then B comes. So A comes, then B comes. So it's 2 days. In these 2 days, they do 11 units. What is the total work that is to be done? That is this 56. 56 divided by 11. 56 divided by 11. If you do this, what you understand is that this is 11 into 5 plus 1. So basically this is 5 such cycles. Each cycle of AB is what? 2 days. So it means that this is 2 into 5, 10 days. 10 days तो पूरे हो गए. उसके बाद में who is the person that will come on the 11th day? 11th day it's going to be A. And how much work is left? 1 unit. How much work does A do in 1 day? 7 units. So answer would be 10 plus 1 by 7, which gives you 10 whole 1 by 7. So that's the way you do it, and you do it very quickly. You actually do it very quickly, and this is unitary system only and nothing else. Fine. So just listen to what I am saying here. Just listen to this method. If it makes sense to you in complicated problems, do it. Otherwise, you can revert to your original method. This is actually a very simple topic to learn anything new here. I am giving you the next one now. Try doing this. पारुल, क्वांटम का मतलब होता है एक्सटेंट कितना है, क्वांटिटी कितनी है. क्वांटम क्वांटिटी एक जैसा साउंड करता है. कुंदन देखो, मैंने मना किया था क्वेश्चन का लेवल बढ़ाओ यार, आप फिर वही बात करने लग गए. मैं एकदम से लेवल बढ़ाऊंगा, आप लोग इसका आंसर करिए जल्दी से. Okay, I think all of you have got the answer. It's 13 whole 1 by 4 or 13.25 hours, whatever way you do it. Now again, if you look at this, the method that I have been using here, this is 12 hours, 15 hours. What is the LCM of 12 and 15? This is 60. So if I have to take a unit for work or the quantum for work, I'll take 60. I could have taken the product of 12 and 15, but you know, smaller the numbers, the easier for me it becomes to deal with them. So now A's 1-day work, you have to do it all mentally, do not write anything. You divide 60 by 12, so you get 5. B's 1-day work, you divide 60 by this 15 and you get 4. So basically this is the situation now in front of you. 60 is the total work, A's one day work is 5 units, B's one day work is 4 units. Add कर दो दोनों को. Can I say A plus B in 2 days? Now this is not 1 day, 2 days. इसमें गलती होती है, so just remember this is 9 units. Fine. What is going to happen now? You divide the 60 by 9. Fine. आपको क्या पता लगेगा इससे? 9 into 6 which is 54 plus 6. So that's the thing that you will get once you divide this 60 by 9. So what does this 9 into 6 means? That this is 6 cycles of A plus B. Fine. So the answer would be 6 into 2, that is basically 12 days. ये तो 12 days वो आ ही गए. उसके बाद में देखो क्या होगा. How much is left now? It's just 6 units left. 6 units में से when B comes on the 13th, sorry, when A comes on the 13th day, A on the 13th day, when A comes on the 13th day, can I say that out of this 6 he would do 5? Yes, he would do 5. So let's add 1 here. Fine. Now when he does 5 out of this, next day who is going to come? B. And how much is left? 4. And how much is left? 1. And B would do how much of that? All of that. And how much time? 1 by 4. So the answer would be 12 when with these 6 cycles. Then 1 when A comes on the 13th day. And after that just 1 unit is left. What do you add here? 1 by 4. So the answer becomes 13 whole 1 by 4. This can be done almost mentally if you can, if you can understand this and appreciate this unitary method here. For me it works, it should work for you as well. This is simple, very, very simple. Should I move forward? The next one now. Okay, this is the next one. Try this. Good, Kishore, it's working for you. It generally works. I mean, this is the most elegant method that I've found in time and work. It generally works. Answer this one. This is again a simple one. Just remember that now we are talking about demolition, and it means negative work. Do not worry, Akansha, हो जाता है silly mistakes. Do not worry. I expected you to give the incorrect answer to this time. Okay. Yes, Arun, the answer would be 15. Rest of you just check where you messed it up. It's a small silly error that you do in a question like this. Just check this once. I'm giving you a minute more. Just check this up quickly. Guys, there is a very small thing that you have overlooked here. Fine. Okay, let me just tell you like that only. When we talk about alternate days and one person is demolishing the structure, or is the demolition man or negative work, the work is deemed to be completed when it's completed first. Fine. Are you getting me? So, आप जो answer दे रहे हैं, probably this would also satisfy in the sense that it would also give you that same amount of work. But the work is completed when it's completed first in all such questions. It's a very standard question. Fine, just think about it again. The work is deemed to be completed when it's completed for the first time. Getting me? Fine, all of you would get the answer very easily. Just think about it. Yes, Abhishek Kumar says 21 plus 7. This is how you think about it. Okay, I'll tell you how we do it. All of you understand what is happening here. We take the LCM as 28. Fine, LCM case में तो product ही होगा, so product and LCM is the same here. So A's one day work becomes 7, B's one day work becomes -4. I've written -4 here so that you do not mess it up. Now for a 2-day cycle, what would happen? Can I say A plus B would be 3? A plus B would be 3, or we can say plus 3. So this is a 2-day cycle. Fine. So this is their 2-day work in which A comes first and then B comes. Fine. So first A comes, then B comes. So after 2 days, it's plus 3. So you again, what you do is you can divide this total work 28 by 3. But you need to realize here. Just I know what most of you would have done. You would do this 28 by 3. So it gives you 9 full days. Fine. So 9 को आपने 2 से multiply करा. Fine. So it gives you 18. After 18, this 1 unit left, and you divide, you get the answer. The way you are thinking is fine, but the problem here is that look at what is happening here. I'll just show it to you. Let's for a moment assume that we have to complete just 21 units of work. Just listen to me first. It's just 21 units of work. Can I say for doing 21 units of work, since A plus B do 3 units daily, it would take 21 by 3, fine, which is 7 days. Fine, or 7 cycles here, not 7 days, and 7 cycles would mean 7 into 2, which is 14 days. I hope this is okay with everybody. So what would happen is that if there is just 21 units of work, fine, 3 units is done in every 2 days by A and B together. So 21 by 3 is 7. 7 cycles means every cycle is of 2 days, 7 into 2, it's 14 days. So can I say after 14 days, 21 units of the work would be done? Now what would happen is that once you go to the 15th day here, what is the work that A can do in 1 day? A can do 7 units in 1 day. So what would happen is that A would come on the 15th day and would finish the rest of the work. So what would happen is that 21 plus 7 gives you 28. So that becomes your answer in this case. I hope you got me. You can do this the way you did it, but you have to be careful with the last part. So you work on it in the reverse manner. So ideally, if you ask me how do you proceed on this in a question in which A is building and B is demolishing, what you do is I'm erasing this, telling you how to do it in an exam so that you do not get it incorrect. Fine. ये जो भी इसका हमने लिखा था, for example, you had written this as 7 units, for B you had written as minus 4 units. Fine. And this A plus B is given to you as plus 3. Okay, and this work was given to us 28. Just if you want to be like 100% sure in this, just subtract this 7 from this 28, or whatever the quantum of the work, the units of work that this guy who is constructing is doing, जो बनाने वाला बंदा है वो जितनी units कर रहा है उसको आप सीधा इसमें subtract कर दो, पहले ही कर दो. Fine. So this 28 minus 7 gives you 21. So that there is no scope of a confusion that got you here this time. Fine. So when you do this, even if it's not a perfect number, even if it's not a natural number, it would still satisfy. I'll give you the next example for that. So when you subtract this, you get 21. So now you work on this 21 first. So this is safe. So you get 21 by 3. It tells you 7. 7 into 2 gives you 14. Now you know that you are at 14 days. Fine, and the work left is 7 units. So in this case, it's a natural number, so it's good. 7 by 7, this gives you 1, and the answer becomes 14 plus 1, which is 15. I'll give you another example in which this is not going to happen, but again you have to use the same method if you want to be very clear on this and do not want to end up making a stupid error in this. Fine. Says Rajappa says, sir, A is 4, right? Why did you take 7? I think you just joined. This is the number of units, not the number of days. Please watch it from the beginning. This 7 and this 4 is the number of units of work done by them daily, not the number of hours that they are that they take to complete the work. Please watch it from the beginning. This is your next question. Try doing this one now. Think about this, give me the correct answer. Okay, I can see a lot of answers. Has somebody answered it correct? Just think about it. It's a little different, just a little different from the previous one. Hari says 26 hours 48 minutes. Okay. Sanjeev, the way you did it is correct, but your answer is incorrect. But because you made a silly error here. Kishan says 26 4 by 5. Ranu says 26 whole 4 by 5. Yes, 26 whole 4 by 5 is the answer. Now look at these questions. These are such easy questions. You are still making some stupid errors here. These are what silly mistakes that you do in the exams as well. Okay, let me just explain it. How do you do it? 6, 10. The first thing would be that you take the LCM or a multiple. Now it's very clear here the number that I'll take. 6, 10 के साथ में आप क्या number लोगे? I would take the work as 30 units. So this is my work here. Now I divide this 30 by A and by B. Fine. Say A is constructing and B is demolishing. So what is A's work? You divide this 30 by this 6. So A's one day work is plus 5 or 5, whatever way you want to put it. What is B's one day work? You divide 30 by this 10 here, and this is 3. Since B is demolishing, I will say minus 3. So this is 5 minus 3. And can I say that if I have to calculate for A plus B, the two together, now this is what? This is their 2-day work. Fine, a 2-day cycle. Now if we talk about, A comes first and then B demolishes it, can I say this would become plus 2? So that way, if you look at this is very simple in the sense that 2 days, 2 units of work. I hope this is fine with everybody. So that way, I mean, if you go with the previous logic, you could have said 30 units, so 30 days, that becomes the answer. But no, that factor comes in of the person who is doing the constructive work, doing it first, doing it on the last day. Fine, so that's the important part here. What you do now is work को थोड़ा सा कम कर लेते हैं. Fine, all of you understand that 2 days में they would be doing 2 days of work. So what you do is that you subtract some work from this 30. Fine, कितना subtract करना चाहिए? This 5 is good enough. So 30 minus 5, the person who is doing the constructive work, his quantum of work is subtracted from here. So 30 minus 5 is 25. Fine, when you arrive at this 25, just check for this 25. If by this 2 units of work in 2 days they have to complete, fine, can I say that 24 units would be completed? 24 units would be completed in 24 days. इसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं ना, because this is very simple. आप इसको divide कर लो या कुछ भी कर लो. 2 days work is done in 2, or can I say in 2 days 2 units of work is done. So can I say in 24 days 24 units of the work would be done? Yes. Now who would come on the 25th day? Just think about this. A would come on the 25th day, but I can see clearly that since A can do just 5 units of work, he would not be able to complete it on the 25th day. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि एक साइकिल और रन करना पड़ेगा. So 25th day हमारा काम नहीं होने वाला. तो what we think about is again very quickly, just mentally, it would be like 26 units, fine, and 26 days. इसके बाद में A would be able to finish this off. Can you see this clearly? 24 units, 24 days, 2 units, 2 days, 26 units, 26 days. So we arrive at that point till that last day when this construction guy, which in this case is A, comes and finishes the work. Now on this 27th day, look at this last day when this work would be finished. How much work is left now? 26 units खत्म हो चुका है. So 27th day पे कितना बचा होगा? Can I say on the 27th day just 4 units of the work would be left? And how much does A do in one day? 5. So can I say it would be 26 full days plus, since he has to do just 4 days and he can do 5 units in a day, plus 4 by 5. So the answer becomes in this case 26 whole 4 by 5. You get it quickly, you cannot get it wrong. इसमें कुछ भी गलत नहीं हो सकता. You can just do some silly stupid mistake here और कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. Fine, the answer would be 26 whole 4 by 5, not 24 whole 4 by 5. जिनको लगता है 24 होगा उसके लिए लगता है, because last time I said इसमें subtract कर दो subtract. But when you realize that this is 25 and क्योंकि पूरा divide तो 25 इससे होगा नहीं 2 से, so it would be basically 24 days. तो उसके जो next step है उस पर आपको जाके इसको check करना होगा. So this 20, I mean you can do this by checking it, by common sense, by whatever, but just arrive at the correct answer. That is the only thing that you need to take care of this. इसमें क्या नहीं समझ में आ रहा है मुझे एक बार बताओगे तो मैं समझा पाऊंगा ठीक से. इसमें what is the difficult part here? Can I erase this for those of you who understood this? ऐसे देखो इसको 2 day work, just a second. 2 डे वर्क कितना था? कैन आई से 2 यूनिट्स? अच्छा, इसमें ये दिक्कत तो नहीं है मैंने आवर्स को डेज बोल दिया था? वो हो जाता है यार, स्लिप ऑफ टंग समझो उसको, डेज आवर्स जो भी है वो 2 डे समझ लो, 2 आवर समझ लो, वी आर जस्ट फोकसिंग ऑन द नंबर्स हियर, दिस इज नॉट अ टेस्ट, फाइन। इसको चलो 2 आवर कर देता हूँ मैं, रुको। Okay, let me not talk about days but hour. Can I say 2 hour work of A and B which I just did showed to you is 2 units? यहाँ तक तो सबको ठीक है ना? टोटल वर्क कितना है? 30 यूनिट्स। इसके हिसाब से कैन आई से, मतलब दिस इज यार, दिस इज व्हाट इज इट, दिस इज कॉमन सेंस। 26 आवर्स में कितना काम करेंगे? 26 आवर्स में दे वुड बी डूइंग 26 यूनिट्स ऑफ वर्क विद द सेम लॉजिक. What would happen on the 27th day is when the 27th day comes, fine, 27th day pe what is the amount of work left? Can I say just 4 units of work is left? Just 4 units of work is left. Now 27th day I would finish the work. The reason is very simple, that A's 1 day work is 5 units, and on 27th day 4 units of work is left. So it means that this 4 units is less than this 5 units that A does in 1 day. So that's the reason we'll finish it up on 27th day. Fine. So 26 full days in which they do 26 units together, and on 27th day 4 units left and A does 5 units. So 26 plus कितना दिन उसका लग जाएगा, कितना proportion? 4/5. So the answer becomes 26 whole 4/5. Otherwise use your conventional method and check if you are still not convinced with this. कैसे भी करोगे उसमें check हो ही जाएगा ना. Just realize this, that when one person is constructing and another is demolishing, you have to be working backward. So just be careful with this, otherwise you can do a silly error here, and believe me, it would be there in one of your options. So just remember this. Okay, the next one, this is your next one, try doing it now. This is slightly different, think about it. You can watch it again if you still have a problem in this. This might be, you know, slightly new for you, the unit system, but it works. Renu Sinha, 4 units is 30 minus 26. 30 is the total work. Okay, I got a few correct answers. Many of you have answered it correctly. Raghavan says 7.5. Yes, it's close to 7.5, but not exactly 7.5. Ranu, Amrita, and a lot of other people have got it correct. Fine. 7.5 is the approximate answer. You probably used some other method. That's why you could not arrive at the exact answer here. The exact answer is 7 whole 15 by 31. That's the correct answer. Fine. Let me just show it to you. How do you do this in this case? Fine. Before this, just another very basic thing for those of you who do not know this. Let's say you have to calculate LCM, because I've been telling you here in this case that if you take LCM, that it's slightly easier for you as compared to taking the product of the two numbers. So if you have to take LCM of fractions, I hope all of you know this, but still if you do not know this, just work on this. So for example, if you have to take LCM of A upon B and C upon D, it's a very simple thing. It is LCM of the numerator. So that's LCM of AC divided by HCF of BD. Fine. So that's the thing. If you do not know how to calculate LCM of fractions, because in this case these are fractions, and I have seen in a few questions that they actually give you fractions in this case. So that's why I put it here like this. So that's just to kind of tell you this thing quickly. Now look at what is this. This is 40 by 3. Fine. This is 25 by 2. Can you calculate their LCM quickly? If you do not want to take the product or something like that, you can. 2 and 3 का HCF कितना होता है? It's nothing, it's 1. 2 and 3 का HCF तो कुछ है ही नहीं, it's 1. So basically it boils down to saying 25 and 40 का LCM कितना होता है? So it's the same thing as saying 25 and 40 का LCM कितना होता है? You know it very quickly that it has to be 200. I mean, these are simple numbers, and generally you encounter simple numbers only. So the LCM for these two, 25 and 40, is 200. So the work that I would assume here in this case would be 200. So that's the work. Now let's come to our thing. Fine. ए का वर्क कितना होगा? अब यू नो हाउ टू डू दिस क्विकली. कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? ए का कितना है? ए डज 40 बाई 3. ए डज दिस कंप्लीट वर्क इन 40 by 3 hours. फाइन. दिस 40 by 3. फाइन. सो व्हेन यू डिवाइड दिस 200 by 40 by 3, कैसे इसको जल्दी से मेंटली कैसे डिवाइड करेंगे? यू डिवाइड 200 by 40. व्हाट डज इट गिव यू? 5. एंड यू मल्टीप्लाई इट विद 3. यही बात होगी ना. अगर आप इसको डिवाइड करेंगे, सोचोगे तो कैसे करोगे? 200 divided by 40 by 3. This is the division. I'm just telling you this thing because people still get confused in this. So when you divide this, it will be 200 by 40, which gives you 5, and this 3 would come in the numerator. So answer would be 5 into 3, 15. So you should know how to do it quickly. So let's divide it now. So this is the total work that I took here. You divide it by 40 by 3, you get 15. Fine. Let's do it for this thing. Now you divide this 200 by 25 by 2. 200 divided by 25 is 8. 8 into this denominator to 16. So basically these are my numbers here. The work becomes 200, and I have eliminated all the fractions here. I mean, I'm not working on fractions anymore. The work is 200, which is a nice, elegant, smooth number. A does 15 units in a day and B does 16 units in a day. You can arrive on this very quickly if you are comfortable with finding LCM and with fractions. Okay, let's proceed forward. Now it's very simple. What is he asking us to do? In how many hours would the wall be built if B joins A 2 hours after A starts the work? Fine. Can I say that the combined 2-day work of A and B is 31 units? Yes, A does 15, B does 16, so it's 31. And this is what? This is 2-day work. Now the first step that you do here in all such questions in which both the two people do not start simultaneously is this very small exercise, that from this total work of 200 you subtract the additional duration for which A has worked. Now in this case A has worked for 2 hours extra. B joins A 2 hours after A starts the work. So there were 2 hours for which A was working alone. Now in these 2 hours A does 15 units of work per hour. Can I say in these 2 hours A would do 2 into 15? Yes. So what we do is that we subtract this 2 into 15 from 200 and it will add 2 days later. Why do we do this? Because the rest of the work they are doing it together. So 200 minus 30, it gives you 170. So what is happening is that I have already calculated how much work they have already done, or A has already done. So I can say that A already did 2 into 15, that's 30 units of work, and the work left when B joins A is just 170 units. अब बस इसको divide कर लो. 170 divided by what? 31. This 31 here. What would it give you? Can I say it would be of this form? 31 into 5, which is 155, plus 15. Fine. So what it means is that 5 full days. Fine. Okay, I just messed it up here. This is not 2-day work, this is 1-day work, because they are doing it together now. This is not alternate now. Baki rest everything remains the same. Now what is happening is that they would take 5 days to do this 31, they would take 5 days to do this 155 units of work, working at the rate of 31 units per day, which is given here. So what is happening is 31 into 5, that's 155 units, and how much is left from 170 then? 15 units. So what would be the answer, the complete answer? The 2 days for which A worked alone first, that is this 2 days. Fine. Then these 5 days for which they worked together, and this is natural number days. So this 2 plus 5, this is 7 days. And for the last day, what would happen? Just 15 units of work is left. And how much do they do in one day? The two together, 31. So the answer would be 2 plus 5 plus 15 by 31, which gives you 7 whole 15 by 31. So without doing any gandagi here, without getting into any dirty numbers or anything, you get to the answer straight away in terms of fractions without doing anything, if you are just comfortable with these numbers. I hope you got this. You should get this if you haven't. The only thing that was different here from the previous question was that this thing was in fractions, but if I know how to calculate LCM for fractions, I can do it in pretty much the same manner in which I handled the last question. There is nothing different in this. और कुछ है संजीव? आवर्स में चल रहा है, डेज में चल रहा है, वॉट एवर चल रहा है यार, समझ लो बात को, उसमें मत टोको मेरे को, उससे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा आपको. Now if there is a problem in this, please ask me, otherwise I am moving forward on this. Nitin Joy, you are taking too much joy in pointing out to me mistakes. I understand that. Okay, wonderful. 7 whole 15 by 30 again. Everyone got it? Can I move forward now? Okay, good. अब इसके बाद में आप इसको करोगे तो जल्दी आ जाएगा. मैन व्हाट यू डू इन अ केस लाइक दिस इज यू रियलाइज क्विकली दैट दिस इज 40 by 3, दिस इज 25 by 2. So the LCM in this case would be 200. A का यूनिट्स आएगा 15, B का यूनिट्स आएगा 16. A और B का जो टोटल यूनिट आएगा यहाँ पर इन दोनों को ऐड करके दैट इज 31. फाइन. 170 को मेरे को सीधा 31 से बेसिकली यहाँ पर डिवाइड करना है. 31 एंड दिस गिव्स यू 155, रिमाइंडर इज 15. इफ यू कैन डू दिस लाइक दिस, सो यू गेट द आंसर एज 2 plus 5 plus 15 by 31. I am telling you, it will not take more than 30-40 seconds if you can do this, if you can practice this and do this quickly. So the next one now, 51 by 31 इसके लिए आया, the remainder after these 5 days is 51. Fine, their work is 31 in one day. So if you have to do just 15 units of work and you can do 31 units of work in one day, how much part of the day would you use? It'll be 15 by 31. Are you getting me? They do 31 units in one day. The work left is only 15. So how much day would they use? Just 51 by 31 part of the day. 15 upon 31 part of the day. So that's how do you do it. Okay, this is your next one. Try doing this now. Again, do not be scared by looking at the numbers. It's very simple. Try doing it. How many of you got the correct answer? Yes, the answer is 2 whole 13 by 19. I'm very happy whoever got it. Okay, I think a lot of you have got it. 51 by 19 or 2 whole 3 by 19. I think it's the same thing. अच्छा, इसका क्वेश्चन का मतलब समझने में प्रॉब्लम थी तो मैं वो भी बता देता हूँ एक बार. What is happening is that A can complete in this much time. This is, if he expresses in fractions, this is 4 into 3, 12 plus 3, 15 by 4. So A takes 15 by 4 days in completion, while B can do it in 4 whole 1 by 6, that is 25 by 6 days. Fine. A and B start working on together. Good. In how many days was the work completed? If B left exactly 1 whole 1 by 2, this is what did then, matlab that's basically 3 by 2 days before the actual completion of the work. इसका मतलब बहुत ही simple है, that if the work was completed in, let's say, 10 days, fine, if the work was completed in 10 days, for the last 1.5 days just A was working, so B left exactly 1.5 days before the actual completion of the work. So if the work got completed in X days, B worked only for X minus 1.5 days. That's the thing. Fine. और कुछ नहीं है इसमें. Okay, all of you are getting 2 whole 13 by 19. Yes, that's the correct answer. I'll tell you, ये भी जल्दी हो जाएगा, इसमें ज़्यादा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. इसको देखो कैसे करना है. The first two numbers that we look at would be these two. Now ignore denominators अगर आपको HCF वगैरह में प्रॉब्लम है, but if you have to take a comfortable number, at least numerators का LCM तो निकाल सकते हैं ना. So if you talk about the numerators LCM here, these are the two numbers 15 and 25. Denominator को छोड़ दो, ignore कर दो अगर if you have a problem with HCF. At times it's required, otherwise छोड़ दोगे तब भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Even if you take the product, it will not change the answer. Fine. 15 25 का LCM तो सभी को पता है ना कितना होता है. It is 75. So my work becomes 75 units. Now come to A. Fine. What is happening here? You divide 75 by 15. Fine, and multiply by 4. ऐसे ही करते थे ना. Exactly यही होना था जो मैंने last time समझाया था. 75 by 15 is 5. 5 into this 4. This is 20. So A does 20 units of work. Now come to B. This is 25. 75 divided by 25 is 3. 3 into this 6. 18. So B does 18 units of work. So this is the numbers. These are the numbers on which we arrive very quickly after looking at these. Fine. So what is the total scenario now? The work is 75 units. A does 20 units daily. B does 18 units daily. And that's how they can finish it up in 3 whole 3 by 4 and 4 whole 1 by 6 days. Now let's do whatever he's asking us to do. What is the question now? A and B start working on it together. Fine, this is okay. In how many days was the work completed if B left exactly? Now what you know is that A worked extra for how much time? Can I say that A worked extra for these 3 by 2 days? यही होने वाला है ना? They started together, but B left exactly 1.5 days before the actual completion of the work. So can I say that A worked extra for 1.5 days? Yes. तो इसका वर्क कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं. सो A would work how much? A's 1.5 day work निकाल सकते हैं ना. A's 1 day work is what? 20. So A's 1.5 day work, or the work that he will do in 3 by 2 days, would be 30 units. This is simple. No, not much problem here. Now look at what would happen. Can I say that this 1.5 day work, this 30 units would be done by A alone? The rest of the work would be done by A and B together. How would you proceed now? 75 minus this 30. What would you get here? 45. Do not get confused by the fact that here they started together and then B left early. So कुछ भी हो सकता है. The crux of this problem is that A worked for 1.5 days, this 1.5 days more than B, and it can be anywhere. So it can be in the beginning, it can be in the end. So what you do is you calculate A's 1.5 day work, which is 30 units. Subtract this 30 from this 75. You are left with this 45. Why I have done this is कि जो भी मेरे को 45 का आंसर मिलेगा, आई वुड ऐड 1.5 days टू इस. यही हम करने वाले हैं ना इसमें. अब 45 days का आंसर बहुत ही सिंपल है. You know that A and B together, this is A's work 20, this is B's work 18. Can I say this is 38? Yes. So A and B's 1 day work is 38. तो एक दिन तो यहाँ पर पूरा लग ही जाएगा जब वो एक साथ करेंगे. So when A and B do it together, since they do 38 units together in 1 day, when they do it together, out of this 48, 38 units तो वो एक दिन में यूज कर लेंगे. Fine. So what would be left in 45 minus 38 is 7 units. So what is there with me exactly at this moment is this scenario. First, this A's 1.5 day work. So this is 1 plus 1 by 2. So these are those days for which A worked alone. I have written as 1 plus 1 by 2 because it will be comfortable to calculate. Then for this 38 units, 1 day work which A and B did together. Now what is left? Just these 7 units are left. For these 7 units, can I say, since they do 38 units in one day when working together, A and B, for 7 units they would take 7 by 38. So that's your answer. This thing. Now if you have to do it quickly, what you do is, इन दोनों fractions को आप एक साथ कर लो. Fine. What it will give you is 1 plus 1 तो 2 हो ही जाता है. 2 plus this would be 19 by 38, so it gives you 26 by 38. But 26 by 38 को आप further solve कर सकते हो, and it gives you, अगर आप इसको further solve करोगे, this gives you 13 by 19. So the answer through this becomes 2 whole 13 by 19. This is not much different from the previous question. The only difference was that when they started there in that question, one of them started alone. Here they started together, but one person left early. There is otherwise absolutely no difference. Fine. You just need to be careful with this figure here, because this was not a natural number. I said 1.5 days here, so this can be confusing. So this 1.5 can be broken up like this: 1 plus 1 by 2, and then after when 45 units were left, 38 were done by two of them together in one day, and then 7 by 38. So the answer is 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus 7 by 38. But please realize that it did not happen in this order. This 1 plus 1 by 2 happened at a later stage when A was working alone. Fine. So please remember this, please realize this. Otherwise, if you can do it in some other way, you can do, but I think this can give you the answer very quickly. Mayur says, please try to solve using HCF. Why would I do that, Mayur? I am telling you a better way of doing it. Why should I use HCF in this case or some other method? I told you, if you want to take HCF here, you can take that. The reason why I did not take HCF of, for those of you who want to understand this is 4 in denominator and 6 in denominator. The reason I did not take HCF on 6 and 4 here is the HCF would be 2. Fine. I did not take this because the work in that case becomes 75 by 2, and I wanted my work to be in natural numbers. Fine. I did not want fractions, that's why I ignored this 4 and 6. The answer would not change even if you take the total work as the product of 25 by 6 and 15 by 4. The answer would not change. You take anything, it would not change. But we take a number that's small as well as comfortable, and that's the reason we took 75 units as the work here and nothing else. Okay, I hope you got this. I am giving you the next one now. 1.5 into 10 is 15 units. धीरेन्द्र 10 है कहाँ? ए का देखो ना यहाँ पर 20 units है one day work. This will give you the answer very quickly if you understand this. Do this now. This is the next one. Whoever still could not understand this unitary method in this, I would request, please watch it again. This gives you the answer quickly without messing up that complete thing. Parul, even if you take LCM as 150, it's not going to matter. You would not get incorrect answer. That's not LCM, that will be product. Even 75 was not LCM. LCM was 75 by 2. I took 75 because that's a comfortable number. जानकी लास्ट स्टेप नहीं हो पाया था, ठीक है, अभी तो आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड एवरीथिंग ना. सो नाउ थिंक अबाउट इट. पहले इसको करिए. Anup says boring session till now. Anup, when did I say that I would entertain you here? Yaar, you can leave the stream. Guys, think about it again, read it carefully. This is slightly different. I'm just giving you again a couple of minutes. Do this, give me the correct answer. Think about it, it's slightly different. What is the correct answer? Avinash says 11 whole 41 by 45. Yes, that's the correct answer. That's what I was looking for. Let me see who else has given the correct answer. Nitish says 11 41 by 45. Yes, Avinash. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, you are making a mistake here. You are making a, many of you are making a small mistake here. Realize the language here is different. It's not the actual completion. It's talking about the scheduled completion. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? जिस दिन उसका पूरा होना था उस काम को. Do you realize the difference? It's talking about scheduled completion and not the actual completion. इसका मतलब क्या था? I'm just explaining it to you. Let's say they were to finish the work in X days. Fine, it was given. What happened was that at the end of X minus 1 days, this guy B vanished. So this is happening here. So this is a different case. Please realize that it's a different case. That's why you're getting a different answer here. They had to complete the work in X days. At the end of X minus 1 days, this guy B left the work. Fine. So that's how this is different from the previous question. Are you getting me? There's a difference. Look at the language. This is scheduled completion and not the actual completion. ये ऐसा नहीं है. Last time अगर had this been actual completion, I could have said that A worked for 1 day more. A did +1 work as compared to B. Here it's not happening. What is happening is that if they had to finish at X, now they finished at X minus 1. B left. Now for the remaining part, A worked alone. So the question is different here. Are you getting the point? Now give me the answer. Okay, make rectify all your mistakes and everything. सौरभ भाई just explained scheduled completion. जिस समय पूरा होना था, इसमें इतना मुश्किल क्या है? You have to take an English paper as well. Yes, so many of you are getting the correct answer. Ankit, I love making questions lengthy, solutions rather. It gives me pleasure. Okay, I think all of you have got 11 whole 41 by 45 already in this. In which language should I explain scheduled completion? जिस दिन पूरा होना था, हिंदी में जिस दिन पूरा होना था, let's say 10 दिन पहले 10 दिन में पूरा होना था, तो 9 दिन बाद B भाग गया. I hope this is clear now. Let's for a moment assume that it was to be completed in 10 days. So after 9 days B ran away. Are you getting it? So it means that A would have to continue beyond 10 days to finish the work because B left some of his work. I hope you got this now. Yes, Ranu, the scheduled completion is 100 by 9. Ekdam, you do it like this only. I'm just writing here as well. I hope this is okay now. The language, I've written everything. The work is 100 units. A does 5 units in a day. B does 4 units in a day. A and B together do 9 units in a day. Fine. So this is what is given to you. What is happening is that this would now not be done in 100 by 9 days because B left early. B left 1 day before that. Fine. So if you have to do it, what would you do? Is 100 upon 9 days में से you subtract 1 day. You subtract 1 day because this last day only A was working. I mean, so what you do is 100, if you have to do it in a conventional manner, 100 upon 9, that was the actual scheduled completion time, minus 1. This gives you 91 by 9. So this is what is there with you. Fine, 91 by 9 days आपके पास यहाँ पर आ जाते हैं. उसके बाद में सोचो क्या करोगे. रोहित खुद से निकालने की कोशिश करो यार, मैं तो यहाँ बता ही दूंगा, बट इफ यू डू नॉट डू इट ऑन योर ओन, हाउ एल्स वुड यू गेट इट इन द एग्जाम? आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? फाइन. Yes, Rohit, it's 91 upon 9 plus 9 by 5. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, I'm explaining this now and explain it another way as well. Scheduled completion is given as 100 upon 9 days. Fine. When you have both A and B working for the complete duration, it's 100 by 9 days. But what is happening here is that one day before it was scheduled to finish, B left. If B left, we subtract one day from this. So 100 by 9 में से you subtract one day. When you subtract one day from this, you are left with 91 by 9. So this, for this 91 by 9 days, it was all fine. But if you are doing this 91 by 9, can you say that out of this 100 minus 9 or 100 minus 91, 9 units of work would be left now? And who is the person who is left to do this 9 units of work? Can I say it will be just one person? Who is that one person? It's A, who does 5 units in a day. So for this, doing this 9 units here, how much time would A take now? Can I say 9 upon 5? So the answer would be this 9 upon 5 to 91 by 9. You add this up and you get 536 by 45, which would be your answer in this case. I hope you got the difference between this question and the previous one. The language is different and the meaning for this is different. 100 by 9, the scheduled completion time, you subtract one day, you arrive at 91 by 9. So that's the time till which they were together. But after B left, how much work was left? 100 minus 91. This is 91. So it's 9 units. For 9 units, how much time would A take in completing? 9 units divided by A's one day work, which is 5. 9 by 5. So you add 9 by 5 to 91 by 9, you arrive at 536 by 45, which is the correct answer. Gaurav, if you want to still use equations, please use that. Yeah, I never prescribe anything. I keep telling you this thing. Now this is the way you do it. Just another angle that you can think about it in this question. For those of you who want, again, I would say that same thing again, who want to learn a little more here. This total work was given to as 100 units in this case. A's work was 5 and B's work here in this case was 4, and you know that the total work was 9. You already knew that 100 was upon 9 was the scheduled completion time, 100 upon 9 days. You could have done it in another way in which you did not need to go at 91 by 9. The work would be, had B cooperated, had B stayed back, they would have taken 100 by 9 days. But since B left one day early, can I say that the work left would be 4 units? That's B's one day work. Just listen to me very carefully. Had both of them continued, they would have done the work in 100 by 9 days. But what we know is that at the end of the scheduled completion time, B was missing for one day. So can I say, because B was missing for one day, this one day work for B is 4 units, just 4 units of work would be left now. Now this 4 units of work has to be compensated by whom? A would do this work only, na? So A, if he has to do 4 units of work, would take how much time? 4 by 5. तो आंसर कितना होना चाहिए आपका? 100 by 9 plus 4 by 5. This is a simpler approach to this, but simpler only if you are willing to understand this. 100 by 9 was the scheduled completion time. Fine. B was missing for a day. What is B's work for one day? 4 units. Now this work needs to be done by this guy A only. Now A, if he has to do 4 units, would take how much time? He does 5 units in one day. 4 by 5. So this 100 by 9 plus an additional 4 by 5 days for A, because B was missing and he has to compensate for B. You arrive at the same answer. But this is a better way of thinking. This is a much better way of thinking. It will save you time. You do not have to go back at 91 by 9, and even adding the fractions would be simpler when you have 100 here. Please try and understand this. This is same problem, same everything, but a better way of thinking about that same problem. I am going to the next one now. This is your next question. Answer this now. Guys, answer this only slightly different from the previous one. Okay, Nanda says schedule time was new to me. This is not new, I have seen it in books. And if it comes in the exam, it should not stump you. That's why I put one question here of schedule time. And the second method I told is the best method of doing those questions. Give me the correct answer for this one now. I hope you got this question. What is happening is that A works for 2 days, then B works for 1 day. So it works like this: A2, B1, A2, B1, A2, B1. It goes on like this. I hope you understand this language here. And the cycle continues. मतलब A2, B1, A2, B1. It goes on like this. You have to tell me कितना time लगेगा. Ranu says 7 whole 3 by 5. Yes, that's the answer. 7 whole 3 by 5. Sanjeev got it right. Okay. Not many people got it right. Okay, Sanjeev is right, and who else? Rajan got it right. 7 whole 3 by 5 is the correct answer. Yes, Ranu, you're right, correct. 7.6 Nilotpal, one the same thing. But you're getting it in 0.6, that's why I'm assuming that you're using some other method. The answer is 7 whole 4 by 5. Okay, can I explain this? Yes, Saurabh, answer is 7 whole 3 by 5. Again, I'll do it using the same method only. Fine, let's look at what is happening. Now, whenever we are talking about this 20% more, so this is a new concept of efficiency. Let me explain this quickly. What it means is that, let's say I'm saying that A does 10 units of work and B is, let's say, 10% more efficient. I'm saying B is 10% more efficient. So what it means is that whatever work A does in a day, B would do 10% more. So B would do 11. This is the only meaning of this thing. And what it would also mean is that whatever task A does, B would do it faster. So that's the only meaning of efficiency and nothing else. So the moment I look at this 20% here, I'm erasing this and coming back to the question now. While B is 20% more efficient than him, what I know is that 20% means what? 1 by 5. So the moment you realize you have to use these fractions 1 by 5 and all, what are the numbers that you should take for A and B here? B is 20% more efficient, so I'll take A as 5 because we love dealing with natural numbers, and B would be 6. These are the numbers that you should take here. Why? If A is at 5, 20% of 5 is 1 and B is at 6, it satisfies the equation. So that's why I'm taking 5 and 6 here. So that's A is 1 day work and B is 1 day work. Now look at what is given here. A can complete a piece of work in 8 days. Now if this is given to you here, just a moment. Okay, just a minute. Okay, now it's given here that A can complete a piece of work in 8 days. Now, since I have assumed that A is doing 5 units of work daily, and A can complete this piece of work in 8 days, can I say that the total work would be 5 into 8, that's 40 units? Common sense, eh? A does 5 units in a day and A completes the work in 8 days. So what would be the total work? It would be 40 units. So the scenario that's there in front of us is that work is 40 units, A does 5 units in a day and B does 6 units in a day. This is it. Now work on it. What is happening? A works for 2 days first and then B works for 1 day. Now, so it's a 3-day cycle basically. Fine. So if it's a 3-day cycle, this 3-day cycle, it would happen like this: A, and then B. Can I say that the work they do would be like this: 5 plus 5 plus 6, and how much would this be? This would be 16 units. So for every 3 days they are doing 16 units. This is what is given to you, and you just need to arrive at 40. Is it difficult? Absolutely not. So you can clearly see that 3-day cycle would run and it would give you 16 units of work. Another 3-day cycle would run. So this is 3 days, 16 units gone. Another 3 day, 16 units gone. I mean, because this is a very small number, we can count like this as well. What is left now? After 6 days, A would come to work. Fine. How much is left now? 40 minus 32, that's 8 units. Fine. So when A comes to work, he would do another 5 units. So he does another 5 units, another day gone. What is left now? 8 minus 5, it's just 3 left now. So another how much? Plus 3 by 5. So you do it without any dirty calculation here. The answer becomes 7 whole 3 by 5. Had it been a larger number, what you would have done is that you would have divided this 40 or whatever number is it by 16, calculated the remainder and done it accordingly. But since this is a small number, you can do it directly. The key remains the same, taking this 5 and this 6. 5 plus 6 and here since the cycle is 5 plus 5 plus 6, it's a 3-day cycle, 16 days. 2 3-day cycles, 16 plus 16, 32 plus 5 for this 1 day, 37, and for the last day just 3 units left, so 3 by 5 days. So the answer becomes 7 whole 3 by 5. You get it very quickly. You should do it like this only. Going to the next one now. This is your next question. अक्षिता कर सकते हो, एफिशिएंसी से भी कर सकते हो. I find this the fastest. I mean, if you take in terms of percentage, you can do it. But I find this the fastest. The reason is very simple, that I tend to avoid fractions and decimals and all. So that's the reason this works for me. Try doing it. I think it should work for you. Otherwise, you can do it with efficiency. You can do it with equations. You can do it with 1 upon wala thing. Everything is fine. Gaurav, 40 I got by 5 into 8. A takes 8 days to complete, and I assumed A's 1 day work as 5 units. So that's how I got 40. Look at the next one now. Answer this. I think it's a simple one. All of you got it. This will be 22 by 3 or 7 whole 1 by 3. Yes. It's a simple one. How do you do it? Now it's simple. This is 8. This is 3. You take the LCM. The LCM is 24. So that's your total work. What is happening now is that A's 1 day work is, since A is constructing it, it's plus 3. Fine. B's 1 day work is 24 by 3. That's minus 8. Fine. What is given is that A works on it for 6 days, between which B destroys the work for 2 days. Again, concentrate on language. A works on it for 6 days. इसी 6 दिन में से कोई 2 दिन B ने उसको तोड़ दिया. Fine. So basically, what it means is that A ने plus 6 काम किया, B ने plus 2 काम किया. Or can I say B worked for just 2 days and A worked for 6 days? That's given to you. Now A's 6 day work would be what? 6 into 3. अगर A काम 6 day work निकालेंगे, it will be 6 into 3, 18. Fine. B का 2 day work, it will be 8 into or minus 8 into 2, that's 16. So it's the net work done after 6 days would be 18 minus 16, that's 2. Fine. So this is what is given to you. Now it's simple only. 24 is the total work, out of which 2 is done by the two of them together in 6 days. So 6 days have gone. ये जा चुके हैं, इनमें सिर्फ 2 units of work हुआ है. So 2 units of work done in the first 6 days. What is left now? 24 minus 2. This is 22 units. So that's the work that is left now. How much does 8 work in 1 day? 33. So the answer would be what? 22 by 3, which becomes 7 whole 1 by 3 or 22 by 3, whatever is the answer. In fact, this is simpler than the last one. Sir, why did you not subtract 8 from 24? Which 8 was to be subtracted from 24? 8 नहीं subtract करेंगे ना, you subtract 2 from 24. What is happening? Look at what is happening. A does 3 units in 1 day. B does minus 8 units in 1 day. A worked for 6 days. So 6 days में 6 into 3 is 18. So this is the positive work. Look at B. He works for 2 days. 2 into minus 8 is minus 16. So the net work of these 6 days would be 18 minus 16, which is 2. So after 6 days, they are just at 2 units of work. What is left now? 24 total work minus 2, the work done. So this is 22. 22 left, and who is going to do it? Just A. So 22 minus 22 by 3, which gives you 7 whole 1 by 3 is your answer in this case. This is in fact simpler than the last ones. Okay, the next one. Look at this now. Yeah, it's slightly tricky, but you can still find it. I do not mind if you take extra 1 minute, but give me the answer. Okay, slightly different from what you have been doing. Can we solve it now? Okay, look at what is happening here. A and B work together, can complete a piece of work in 10 whole 2 by 7 days. So the first step would be write it like this: 72 by 7. So that's the number of days in which A and B do it together. While B and C can complete the same work in 13 whole 1 by 3. What is this? This is 40 by 3. So that's the work for B and C, this 40 by 3, and for A and B the work is 72 by 7, or the time that they take in complete doing it. So A and B take 72 by 7 days, this here, I think I did the calculation right, yes, while B and C in doing the same work take 40 by 3 days. So that's given to you. If B is 25% more efficient than C, in how many days can A and C working together do the same work? Now whenever I see fractions, the first instinct would be to calculate the LCM and get this number of works in a unit which is understandable. Fine, what do you do? For this 72 by 7 and 40, now this is a slightly tougher LCM, but it should not be a problem to anybody. If you do not find it in 2-3 seconds, then you will find it in 10 seconds. 72 and 40 का कितना LCM होता है? That's 360. Fine. If you do not know how to find LCM, please learn it. So what we do here is that 7 and 3 का HCF तो 1 होता ही है. So 7 and 3 HCF is 1. So we take the total work here is 360. What is 360? That's 72 into 5 and that's 40 into 9. So that's the LCM of 72 and 40. I do not know, multiple तो कम से कम मेरे को दिख रहा है. So that's the work. Now let's come to our question now. A plus B, what were they doing? They this work in 72 by 7 days. So 72 by 7 days they are doing the work, and the total work we have assumed if B is 25% more efficient than C. Now again that same thing, 25% कितना होता है? That's 1 by 4. So what I'll take here is, if I have to think about comfortable terms, since B is 25% more efficient than C, if we take C's 1 day work as 4, B's 1 day work would become 5. यही proportion होने वाला है ना. So out of every 9, can I say 4 by C and 5 by B? Yes, that is what it means. So B is 25% more efficient, मतलब C का 4 and B का 5. So I'm not saying absolutely in terms of this that this is 4 and this is 5. Ratio ही होने वाला है. But if you look here, 4 plus 5 कितना होता है? 9, and this 27 here is a multiple of 9. So you always get such numbers which are multiples of these things. So can I say that if out of every 9 units 4 are done by C and 5 are done by B, because इनका ratio efficiencies का ये है, so out of this 27 this guy B would have done 12 and this guy C would have done 15. और कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. This is the only possibility, because we already know the ratios of their efficiency. So if I am saying that B and C together in one day do 27 units, this 27, out of these 27, 12 would be done by B and 15 would be done by C. Now you can arrive on this in whatever way you want, but that's a fact, that's going to happen. Now if I know that B and C one day work is 27, fine, and this C contributes 15, B contributes 11, can I calculate one day work of A as well? Yes, we can. This A and B is given as 35, this 35. So I already know what B contributes here. If I already know what B contributes here, can I think I wrote it in the, just a second, I think it will be the other way around, just a minute. B was, just a minute, let me just correct it. So B was 5, C was 4. So this B contributes 15 and C contributes 12 out of this. Sorry, my mistake. So this is B 15 and C 12, it gives you 27. Now if I know that A plus B is 35 and B contributes 15 in one day, so how much would A contribute? A would be 35 minus 15, which is 20. So basically what I know now is, in terms of units, all these persons one day work. So A does 20, we already know what C does this 12 and B does this 15. अब जो भी निकालना है निकाल लीजिए. What he is asking is, in how many days can A and C working together do the same work? Now since A does 20 and C does 12, what would be their one day work? Can I say A plus C one day work would be 20 plus 12, which gives me 32. Yes, if this is 32, what is the total work? 360. So the answer would be what? 360 divided by 12, which gives you 45 by 4, which is your answer in this case. So you again do it without doing any dirty work, if you are comfortable working with these numbers rather than fractions. Fine. Not much different from the previous ones. The difference was that in the previous questions this thing was given in terms of a single person's work. Here it was given in form of the combination of two persons' work. There cannot be any other thing here. I hope you got this. Not a difficult problem if you just be a little patient with this, and it will not take much time. Going to the next one now. This is your next question. Please do it now. This is simpler. Believe me, this is much simpler. Please answer this one now. Yes, Madhi, it was 360 by 32. Yes. I think some of you already got the answer. Yes, Bhavesh, you can neglect the LCM, HCF, it does not matter. Sujit, I think, answered first. Very good, Sujit. It's 5:20 p.m. Absolutely. Arun also says 5:20. Honey says 5:20. Yes, you got it. Ashwin says 5:20. So we've got quite a few answers now. In this case, again, if you remember proportions, that's not much difficult for you. You can do it very elegantly without getting into any dirty calculations if you just do it through proportions. Okay, let me explain this now. Look at what is happening. Let me just explain it in slight detail. There are two pipes. One does it, this complete system, in 3 hours. Another one does it in 3 hours and 45 minutes. And there is an outlet pipe as well that does it in 1 hour. So these are the ratios given. Now you should realize quickly in all such cases here that you have to somehow bring it up into a form that's comfortable for you. So basically, what is this? This 3 hours, can I say very quickly without converting or anything that all these are multiples of 15 minutes? Hai na? 1 hour is a multiple of 15 minutes. Fine. 3 hours is a multiple of 15 minutes. 3 hours 45 minutes is a multiple of 15 minutes. Why I am doing it? Because I want to simplify my numbers. So can I say, if I just talk about these two pipes, fine, let's call them inlet 1, inlet 2 and outlet. Fine. So inlet 1 is to inlet 2 is to inlet 3. Sorry, this would be outlet. Fine. So if you talk about the time here, fine, the time is given to as 3 hours को मैं 15 minutes से divide करूँगा. I'll get 12. So basically I can say it takes me 12 units of time. Look at what I am doing here to simplify the calculations. 3 hour 45 minutes को मैं 15 minutes से divide करूँगा. If I divide it by 15, I get by 15 minutes I get 15. So basically, if I1 or inlet pipe 1 takes 12 units, inlet pipe 2 takes 15 units of time, or in terms of time, it takes, if it takes 12 time, it takes 15 time. And if you talk about outlet, it just takes 1 hour. It's much faster. 1 hour divided by 15 minutes is 4. So basically, what you know is that inlet 1 takes 12 units. This is same as saying 3 hours, 3 hour 45 minutes and 1 hour. But I am just not comfortable working with large numbers. So what I do is that inlet 1 को मैंने 12 कर दिया, इसको 15 कर दिया, इसको 4 कर दिया. It's the same thing, exactly the same thing. I will take care of whatever manipulation I have done here at a later stage. So this is the time in which they do the system completely. So I1 completes it in 12, I2 completes in 15. This is about filling, and this outlet जो उसके अंदर वो outlet pipe है, that does it in 4 completely. Now if you have to talk about efficiencies क्या होते हैं? इसका inverse ratio होता है. So basically जो हम अभी तक करते आ रहे थे, so their efficiencies would be in the ratio of 1/12, 1/15 and 1/4. If you want, you could have taken directly as 3 hours को 1/80, 1/225 and all, but I prefer smaller numbers because they make you feel comfortable. So with what number should you multiply these three to get the ratio of their efficiencies? You can clearly see 12, 15 का LCM से multiply कर दो, it's 60. So if you multiply this whole thing, everything here by 60, what do you get? 1/12 into 60 gives you, now this is the ratio of efficiencies of these three. I1, I2 is to O. Fine. So it becomes 1/12 into 60 is 5, 1/15 into 60 is 4, and outlet का efficiency is 1/4 into 60, which is 15. So these are their efficiencies. Now if you've got these efficiencies, you can calculate it very quickly, very quickly. So I1 does 5 units of work every hour or whatever you want to do it. I mean, it's units. I do not care what units these are. I2 is 4 and O is 15. But just one thing is left. What is the total work? The total work can be calculated like this in terms of units. How do you calculate total work here? The work would be, if I am saying that I1 does 5 units of work, fine, it takes 3 hours for completion here. तो कितना ये इसमें जो total work आएगा वो work कितना हो जाएगा? Can you calculate this? If I1 completes this in 12 units of work and I1 takes 3 hours to complete this work, you can calculate it through this as well or through this as well. आप इससे भी निकाल सकते हो, इससे भी निकाल सकते हो, किसी से भी निकाल सकते हो. But the total work would be, मतलब either you can do it like 5 into 12, this 5 into this 12, or 4 into 15 or 15 into 4. But in either case, the work would be 60. If you realize this, that I1 does 5 units, this does 4 and this does 15 and this is 60, you can do it quickly. Now look at what is happening here. सबसे पहले किसको खोला? We opened I1 at 1 p.m. I2 at 2 p.m. and the outlet is opened at 3. So it means that at 3 p.m. all three are open. So before that I1 must have worked for 2 hours. 2 hours में कितना काम करेगा? 2 into this 5. So that's 10 units. Fine. I2 is just opened at 2 o'clock, so it worked for just 1 hour. So 1 hour में 4 units, so that's the work that it does. So when at 3 p.m. all three are opened together, what is the total work that has been done? That's 10 plus 4, 14 units. Now obviously if this system is to be emptied, you can realize that it will be negative work, net negative work here. So what is the positive work here? 5 plus 4, and negative work here is 15. So 5 plus 4 is 9, minus 15 would be minus 6. So when three of them are working together, it's 5 plus 4, 9 minus 15, which is minus 6 units of work every hour. So now it's simple. What you know is that 14 hours of work it has been done till 3 p.m. till this time. Fine, till this time. So when all the pipes are open together, the work every hour would be, just a minute, the work every hour would be minus 6. So 14 divided by 6, how much is that? This is 2 hour 20 minutes. And the answer becomes 3 plus 2 hour 20 minutes, which gives you 5:20 p.m., which is your answer in this case. You do it like this, you can do it quickly without any, without doing any gandagi here, without making a mess of this question. The important part here is that you should realize the work the way we did in proportions. If the time that they take to complete is 12, 15, 4, fine, the ratio of their efficiencies would be 1 upon 12, 1 upon 15, 1 upon 4. Fine, you convert it into this form, 5 is to 4 is to 15, and after that you can just apply unitary system over the time taken here. At क्या पूछ रहे हैं? At 2 p.m. A is also open. A is also open. Yes, if it is open. Look, what is happening is that for 1 hour A was opened. A matlab inlet 1 was opened. At 2 p.m. second one was also opened, and at 3 p.m. all three are open. So that's the only thing. That's Raghavendra, these are not even calculations. If you realize, there is no elaborate calculations here, and I have told you this method to avoid calculations. You can I mean, I'm taking 10 minutes to explain this so that you can get it in 40-45 seconds. Are you getting me? There is nothing difficult in this. What I have done is 3 hours. Okay, I'm just erasing this. I took the ratio of this, 3 hours, 3 hours 45 minutes, 1 hour. Fine. With this ratio, I got the ratio of their efficiencies. Fine. With the ratio of their efficiencies, I just calculate the total work, which came to 60, and applied it on 1 p.m., 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. and you get it elegantly like this. Practice it like this, you would get it quicker. The next one now. This is the next question. Answer this now. ओके, जस्ट वन लास्ट थिंग. गौरव से कहता है 60 कैसे है? गौरव 60 ऐसे आया, वो इनलेट पाइप 1 1 घंटे में 5 यूनिट्स काम करता है. फाइन, 5 इंटू 12 यूनिट्स टोटल था, तो 12 इंटू 5 60 आता है. इस तरीके से यू गॉट 60 देयर. ओके, डू दिस वन नाउ. I think some of you already got the answer. The answer would be 13 days for this. Yes, Onkesh, you can take 15 by 4 instead of 3 hour 45 minutes, whatever suits you here. I mean, just understand the method. 13, 13, 13. Yes, that's the answer. Now again, you do it by multiple methods. What we can, another, I'm just giving you a perspective to do this. This is 10 men, 15 days. This is 8 women and 25 days. Fine. So what is happening is, can I say 10 into 15? I just took this 10 into 15. So this thing, and look at this, 8 women and 25 days. So this is 150. I can say man days, fine, and this is 200, if I can use this term, women days. So this is 150 man days and this is 200 women days. Now again, I straight away think about assigning a unit, a number of units to work. When I look at this 150, 200, I feel like assigning 600 to the total work. Why 600? Because it's divisible by both 200 and 150. LCM here basically. So this is the LCM. So let's, for the sake of convenience, assume that this is the total work, 400 units. Please understand this even if you have done it by some other way. So this 600 becomes my total work here. If this is 600 my total work, this is 200 women days. Can I say that a woman did 3 units of work per day? ऐसे ही होगा ना? So this is 8 women working for 25 days. So that's 200 women days and the total work is 600. Fine. If the total work is 600, 600 divided by 200 is 3. So each woman must have worked for 3 units per day. So this is given like this. Here it's 150. So each man here would have worked for 4 units per day. तभी satisfy होगा ना? So 4 into 10, 40 into 15 is 600. So what I've assumed here is that the work is 600. Each man works for 4 units per day and each woman works for 3 units per day. So this is our basic data on which we'll do. You can write it in whatever form, but this is how I look at it. Now look at what is saying. 10 women start working. They were joined by 3 men after a few days, after which they completed the remaining work together in 5 days. सबसे पहले इन 5 days का work निकाल लो. 5 days में क्या होने वाला है? 5 days में how many women are there? There are 10 women. So can I say 5 into 10 into 3 is the work done by these women? How much would this be? 150 units. So this is the work done by women in the last 5 days. Look at men's work. How many men are there? 3 men. 3 men for 5 days. So this is 3 men, 5 days, and how much work they do daily? It's 4 units. So 3 into 5 into 4. So this is how much? 60. So that's the work 150 plus 60 that they do in the last 5 days. This 5 days. So this is how much? 210. Now this is 210 out of how much? The total work was 600. So what is left now? 600 minus 210, which is 390. So this is 390 units of work left. And who was doing it? Just these 10 women. So these 10 women daily would be doing how much work? 10 into 3, that's 30 units. So 30 units रोज हो रहा है. If they are doing just 30 units daily and the total work done by them is 390, the answer would be what? 390 divided by 30, which gives you 13 days. So the total scenario would be like this. For the first 13 days, just the women worked and they completed 390 units of the work. After that, they were joined by 3 men who contributed 60 units. So the women worked for 13, this 13, which is the answer, plus 5 days, this 5. And the men just worked for 5 days, and it makes you arrive at this number, which is 600. My reason of doing it through this is that if you realized, we never used any fractions here, and that's why I keep using this unitary method everywhere. Okay, do the next one now. This is a very simple one. You should at least answer this. Prashant, let this finish at least. I thought I'll finish it up quickly, but again this is taking time. Madhu, this is very simple. Time and work से simple कुछ नहीं arithmetic में. There is just one concept of the number of units. I am doing all the kinds of problems so that you do not find any new kind when you are doing on your own. So you will actually not need it. Practice after this. Practice after this on your own. You will be able to manage this. इसको आंसर करने की कोशिश करिए, प्लीज ट्राई आंसरिंग दिस. Sujit says I taught him a new method. Sujit, I mean, you are already giving answers so fast, so I do not know if that's going to help you. The irony is that you got this method, and people who are not getting it fast are not willing to adapt to this. So that's the irony. Anyway, I just hope all of you watch this and realize that it's going to give you answers faster. 83 or 87, guys, all of you know that it's alligation. It's a very simple concept. We did it in detail. Fine. So the answer has to be either 83 or 87. Just think about this. What is happening here? Two pipes A and B are connected to a tank. A can fill the tank with 80%. ये जो A है ये क्या है? This is that 80% वाला pipe. So this fills it up with 80%. While B can fill the tank with 90% pure milk. So this is B and this is 90% pure milk. अब आपको इसमें क्या चेक करना है? आपको वेट्स ही देखने हैं ना. वेट्स कैसे होंगे? नाउ टेल मी विच इज फास्टर. इफ A can fill it up in 7 hours and B can fill it up in 3 hours, which of the pipes is faster? Think about it. Which of the pipes is faster? The one that's fill it up in 3 hours? I mean, ये वही है ना जैसे लास्ट क्वेश्चन में था. So A does it in 7 hours, B does it in 3 hours. तो उनकी एफिशिएंसीज का रेशियो कितना होगा? उल्टा हो जाएगा ना. It'll be 1/7 to 1/3. Fine. And what would be the ratio of their efficiencies? There will be 3:7. It means that if A does 3 units of work, B does 7 units of work, or in other words, it means that if A puts in 3 units of milk there, B would put in 7 units of milk. अब इसमें कुछ नहीं लगाना, weighted average, allocation, whatever you feel like लगा लो. But at any given point of time, can I say that this B would be 7 units for every 3 units of A? This is very important. It will be the reverse of this thing. So if you are following time, speed, distance, ratio, mixtures, you would realize this by now. A took more time in filling it, B took less time. So it should be 7/3 or 3/7. It should be reversed. So the efficiency of A becomes 3, efficiency of B becomes 7. So B is much more efficient, it's much faster. Fine, this guy is faster, this pipe is faster. Now if this is faster, fine. आपको कंफ्यूजन किस में था? या तो आपको 83 में था या 87 में था. दिस वाज द कंफ्यूजन, आइदर 83 और 87. बिल्कुल ही दिमाग मत लगाओ, कुछ भी मत करो. टेल मी इफ दिस वर्क्स मोर, पाइप B वर्क्स मोर. आंसर, कैन द आंसर बी 83? हो ही नहीं सकता ना यार. आंसर हैज टू बी 87. दिस इज व्हाट आई टॉट यू इन एलिगेशन विद द यूज ऑफ कॉमन सेंस. You already know that this 80 to 90 would be divided into 10 parts the way I taught you alligation. Fine, and it would keep on moving. So when the ratio is 3/7, the answer has to be 87. This is a 5-second question. Actually a 5-second question. You cannot mess this up. The answer would not be 83. The answer would be 87. And believe me, 83 would remain an option in a question like this. This would always be there, and many of you would mess this up. Do not mess this up. Get this right. Practice alligation. You cannot get this wrong. I mean, this would be a crime if you get this wrong. I am moving to the next one now. This is your next question. Answer this. Rahul, honey, I'm sure you haven't seen alligation classes. I'm 100% sure you haven't seen alligation classes. Otherwise, this was a sitter when it comes to alligation. Please watch that once. The first part was clear. You will get the second part as well. How you get 87 quickly. Please watch that once. All the arithmetic is connected. Please start from day 11. Watch everything. You will get this. This was an absolute sitter. Please do not think that alligation can just be applied in mixed chain solution. It can be applied anywhere. Please realize that. Answer this one now. Okay, most of you are answering it. 3 inlet and 5 outlet. That's the correct answer. The question is how you arrived at this. आपने इसको किया कैसे है? Now look, there can be smarter way here. I mean just an observation that should definitely do. Inlet pipe का work निकालते हैं. पहले total work मानते हैं. This is 1230. Can I say that the total work here would be the LCM of the two, which in this case would be the LCM of 12 and 30, which is 60. Fine. So that's my total work. Talk about A. 60 by 12. That's 5 units, or I'll say plus 5 units. Look at this thing. Outlet pipe takes 30 hours. 30 is 60 by 30 is minus 2. So okay, let me write INO. Okay, so that's the inlet pipe that does plus 5, and this is the outlet pipe that does minus 2. So that's what is given to you. Fine. Now if you realize here, when all the pipes are open together, ये सारे pipes जितने भी हैं, all these 8 pipes are open together, the tank gets filled in 12 hours. Fine. If you know this, and you should also understand here that this 12 hours is the same as the efficiency of one inlet pipe. Fine. You do not even need hit and trial here, Ranu. Just think like this. Can I say that the time that this thing took to fill up is 12 hours? Had there been just one inlet pipe, अगर वहाँ पर सिर्फ एक inlet pipe होता, had there been just one inlet pipe and no outlet pipe, then can I say it would have taken these 12 hours only जो यहाँ पर लगा है? So इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Out of all these 8 pipes, there are 7 pipes that are neutralizing each other or offsetting each other's work. Some of them would be inlet, some of them would be outlet, and there is just this one inlet pipe that's doing all the work. Can you think like this? Obviously, when you see numbers like that, it should click to you, all these things. So since an inlet pipe fills it in 12 hours and in all also it's filling in 12 hours, so the work that's being done is equivalent to just one inlet pipe. यही हो रहा है ना इस केस में. So I would not even work further on this. Units होने के बाद भी मैं इस पे काम नहीं करूंगा. So basically what is happening is कि out of these 8 pipes, एक inlet pipe मेरा काम कर रहा है. So this one inlet is doing the job for me. So these 7 are left. Just 7 are left. Out of these 7, now you know the efficiencies. They are in the ratio of 5 and 2. Now isn't it very simple that this 5 thing would be multiplied with 2 and this minus 2 with 5 to offset it? What would happen? These 2 pipes at the rate of plus 5 will give you plus 10. These 5 pipes, outlet pipes, at the rate of minus 2 would give you minus 10. Plus 10, minus 10, it gets neutralized. So these 7 basically gives you 0. तो जितना भी result आया वो सब कहाँ से आया? All this result came because of just this one inlet pipe. So basically if you have to think about this, think like this. There is one inlet pipe that's doing all the work. Fine. There are 2 inlet pipes and there are 5 outlet pipes that are offsetting each other's work. And how do you get this 5 and 2 here? Because of this ratio. ये ratio सीधा दिया हुआ है ना, inlet plus 5, this is 2. So obviously you know that if you have to offset each other, so for every 2 of inlet there will be every 5 of outlet. If you realize this part, you can do it very quickly. In fact, you do not even need the options. You realize quickly that this is 8. Then you realize that this is 5 and 2. So this has to be in the ratio of 2:5. This is 2:5 and this 12 is same as this 12 here. So there is just one inlet pipe that's doing all the work. So this 2 and 5 get neutralized. So the answer would be 1 plus 2, that's 3. I'm not explaining it in a conventional way or the way we did the last few questions, because you can do this. You think like this, and these are, it's not that I am creating these values. You get values like this at random even in question papers. So you break it up like this, this 1 inlet plus 2 inlet plus 5 outlet, you arrive at the answer very quickly in 10-15 seconds. But it should click to you, and it should click, yeah, why not? This is 12, this is 12, why should it not click to you? It should click to you. Fine, going to the next one. Whoever wants to check it with that, completing this whole thing, can do it quickly. Even that's very easy. This is your next one. Try answering this now. दीपक कुछ और आता तो हम जैसे उसको अभी तक सॉल्व कर रहे थे वैसे ही सॉल्व करते. These are observations, you know, you keep your eyes and ears open when you are taking the question paper. You should look for all these things and then you save those crucial 2 minutes, 1 minute 30 seconds here and there. उन्हीं से आपका कट ऑफ बनता है ना, उन्हीं से आप you make the final cut ना. इसको आंसर करिए. Arjun, then you can solve it the way we did it previously, no? Take the number of inlet pipes as x and the number of outlet pipes as 8 minus x and solve it, or you can do it using options, or you can use it, you can solve it using hit and trial. अंकिता थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा कोशिश करो समझने की, समझ में आएगा, और जब समझ में आएगा तो बहुत मज़ा आएगा सोच के कि बहुत जल्दी हो रहा है. इसको करिए. आई एम गिविंग यू 2 minutes. Okay, a simple one. I think all of you answered this. Not all of you. Nilotpal says 1.5. I think 1.5 is the answer. You probably are making a silly mistake here. Ranu says 1.5. Hari 1.5. Yes, 1.5 is the answer. Sonal 1.5. Very good. Gaurav, you got it this time. Very good. Wonderful. I want to take your name and you give the correct answer fast. Very good. This is 1.5. Any new method? You do not need it. You again do it like this. This is what? 12, 6 and 5. LCM लेंगे. LCM is 60. So my work is 60. So this is the total work that I need to do. What would I do? A का work, B का work, C का work. I list them down. All three's work. So 60 by 12, that's plus 5. 60 by 6, that's plus 10. And 60 by this 5 is minus 12. So this is their works. Fine. So this is their 1 minute work. So 1 minute में this is total 60 units of work. In 1 minute A does plus 5, B does plus 10 and C does minus 12. You already know how to calculate this. Fine. Now look at this, what is happening. B is opened first to fill an empty tank. Fine, this is okay. After some time A and C are also opened. Fine. So what is happening is that for some time just B was working, just this one was working, and after that all three were working. After which it takes 15 minutes to fill the tank. Very simple. ये तो बहुत ही आसान है. Add करो इन सबको. If you add these three, you get 5, 10, 15 minus 12 plus 3. So basically, when all three are working together, all three, it gives you plus 3. Plus 3 units of work in every minute. And they worked together for 15 minutes. So plus 3 into 15 minutes. How much work would it do? 45 units. So this 45 units of work, these three pipes would do together when opened for 15 minutes. Now this 60 was the total work. They did 45. So what was the work that was done by this initial pipe alone? B. B ने अकेले कितना काम पहले किया होगा? Can I say 60 minus 45? 60 minus 45 is 15. और B करता कितना है? किस रेट से करता है? B in 1 minute does 10 units. So if in 1 minute he does 10 units, so for 15 minutes how much time would it take? 15 by 10, that's 1.5 minutes. So that's your answer in this case. It is very simple. You should not give it more than 20-25 seconds. 12, 6, 5 ka LCM is very simple. It's 60. You arrive at these numbers 15, 10, 12. You subtract it, you get 3. 3 into 15 is 45. 60 minus 45 gives you 15. 15 divided by this 10 now. The answer becomes 1.5. You do it like this, you get it quickly. Okay, Rahul, wonderful, you got it. I am giving you the next one now. This is your next question. Do not worry, Amit, if you just understand this methodology. After practice, you will start getting it fast. So do not try getting it fast now at this point. Do not worry. Or at least do not worry if you get it incorrect. I do not mind that. Answer this now. Okay, Honey got it first. Wonderful, yeah, wonderful, very good. It's 24. Yes, the answer is 24. Wonderful. Vishal got it 24. 24. 24 is the answer. Yes, Abhijit got it. So this is a new set of people who are giving the answers fast now. Wonderful. I'm very happy. Praveen 24. Sarath 24. 24. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, the answer is 24. No, Saurabh, it's 24 minutes, not 8 minutes. 8 minutes is the time that all three of them together would take, the leak and these two pipes. Did you get this question? It question means that A can fill it up in 15 minutes, B in 10 minutes, this is fine. All the two of them were opened together. So when two of them are opened together, it would take some time to fill it up, but it did not take that time. It took 2 minutes more. Please understand the language carefully. So whatever time it should have taken with A and B, it did not take that time. It took 2 minutes more. जितना टाइम लगना चाहिए था A और B से, इस A से और इस B से उतना नहीं लगा, उससे 2 मिनट ज़्यादा लगे. क्यों 2 मिनट ज़्यादा लगे? Because there was a leak. Fine, there was a leak at the bottom of the tank, and because of this, उसका 2 मिनट ज़्यादा लगे. So this is like negative work only, ना? Work like that. So what is the time with in which the leak would take? What is the time that the leak would take to empty the full tank? तो अगर आपको पूरा टैंक फिल जाता है तो कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको खाली करने में? सिंपल है, अगेन वर्क ऑन एलसीएम. सो दिस इज 15 and 10. अगर मेरे को सिर्फ इसी की बात करनी है, सो आई कैन वर्क ऑन एनीथिंग. आई मीन कोई भी नंबर्स में यहाँ पर ले सकता हूँ. सो आई टेक इट एज 30 यूनिट्स ऑफ वर्क. सो दिस इज माई वर्क. पाइप ए कितना काम करता है? पाइप ए डज 2 यूनिट्स एंड पाइप बी डज yes 3 units. So that's the total work, and A plus B together take 5 units of work every minute, and the total work becomes 30 units. So that's the scenario that's given to you. Now look at what is happening. Can I say, since it's talking about comparison, 2 minutes more, how much time would A and B together have taken to do this? This is 30 units of work. So 30 by this 5. This 5 why? Because this is their combined work. So 30 by 5 is 6. So the total time that they would have taken to do it together, if there was no fill, had there been no leak, अगर वहाँ पर leak नहीं होता, had there been no leak, they would have taken 6 days to fill it up completely, or not 6 days, 6 minutes. They would have taken 6 minutes to fill it up completely. How? This 30 total work divided by their 1 minute work, which is 5. So 30 by 5 gives you 6 minutes. But what is it taking? In place of this 6, it's taking 6 plus 2, which is 8 minutes. अब इसको कैसे भी कर सकते हैं, चलो ऐसे देख लेते हैं. नाउ सिंस दिस इज 8 minutes here, can I say to calculate the work of the leak or the efficiency of the leak, I can go it like this. This total work is 30. Now this 30 work has been done in 8 minutes. So what is 30 by 8? Can I say 30 by 8 would be what? This would be 3.75. So basically, since it was done, the total work in 8 minutes in place of 6 minutes, and the work was 30 units. So the each minute work would be 3.75, and you know that each minute work of A and B together is 5. So if it is 5 for A and B, but here it's 3.75, can I say that the leak was resulting in this leakage minus 1.25? यही लीकेज है ना? देखो क्या हो रहा था, A and B 5 यूनिट्स कर रहे थे 1 मिनट में, but the effective is 3.75. If the effective is 3.75 and they were doing 5 minus 3.75, this minus 1.25 should be the leakage work. अब बस इसको डिवाइड कर लो. What do you need to do? If the leakage works at the rate of 1.25 units per minute, what would be the time that the leakage take to empty the dam completely? This would be 30 upon 1.25, which is how much? 24 minutes. This is it. I mean कुछ नहीं करना है इसके अंदर. You do this 2, 3, arrive at 5. 5 से 30 को डिवाइड करो, you arrive at 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Once you arrive at 8, then you can divide 30 by 8. You get 3.75. 3.75 से you get minus 1.25. That's leaks work. And then finally you divide 30 by 1.25, which gives you 24 minutes as the final answer for this one. ओके रानू, अच्छी बात है, आप खाना खाना भूल गए, बहुत बढ़िया बात है, मैं भी भूल गया. बस 2 क्वेश्चन और बचते हैं, उसके बाद खा लेना. चलो नेक्स्ट वन. This is your next question. Look at it clearly, properly. This is a data sufficiency question. I do not mind if you take a couple of minutes, answer this right. Yes, Ayush says 8 मिनट में 10 यूनिट, तो 24 मिनट में 30 यूनिट, ऐसे भी सोच सकते हो, बिल्कुल सही बात है. Okay, answer this one now. Really happy all of you are answering this right. The answer would be C. Yes, C. And you know the reason why I put this question here is that I wanted you to realize that you in data efficiency, what is the best part? That despite all these numbers and everything, you do not need to calculate anything. So if your concepts are right, if your concepts are in place, you get it very quickly. So if your concepts are in place, you should get this very quickly. Look at what is happening. He is asking how many days can A and B do a work together. किसी एक काम की बात कर रहे हैं, asking कितनी देर में वो एक साथ कर सकते हैं. अब देखो, इफ यू गो विद दिस, यहाँ पर इट्स जस्ट द रेशियो, इससे तो होने वाला नहीं है. हियर ए एन सी टुगेदर का दिया हुआ है, सो इट्स गिवन फॉर ए एन सी टुगेदर, इट्स गिवन फॉर बी एन सी टुगेदर, बट सिंस सी के बारे में यू नो नथिंग, अगेन इट के नॉट आंसर. इवन ए एंड बी टुगेदर के नॉट डू एनीथिंग. So the important statement here has to be statement C. Why? Because it tells you the extent of work that B does. So it tells you that B can do 2/3 of the work in 14 days. So basically you know that B can do the work in 21 days. You do not need to calculate this, but just like that, fine. So B can do it in 21 days, and with this you can proceed. Now if you know this C, you know that this C is a critical statement. It can do, B can do this work in 21 days. So if you get anything else, you can answer this question. तो देखो B और A, C plus A तो एक बनता ही बनता है ना कॉम्बिनेशन. Why C plus A? C tells you the efficiency of B. C tells you the efficiency of B, and with this you know the ratio of efficiency of A and B. तो आपके पास A का भी आ जाएगा, B का ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है. With C plus A you can answer this. The important part would be to look at, so C and A together can answer this. Important part would be to look at B. B talks about A and C and B and C. Now if B tells you the amount of work of B and C, or the extent of work or the efficiency of B and C together, B का आपके पास already है from statement C. तो इससे आप you can calculate for C. If you can calculate for C using this one, you can calculate for A. So it means that you can calculate for A, B, C, all of them separately. If you can calculate for A, B, C, all of them, it means that you can calculate for A and B as well. So I hope that's okay. So from B and C you calculate for C, you calculate for C, then from A and C you arrive at A. Fine. So when you arrive at A through this B and C, you can calculate for A and B as well. B का आपको यहाँ से मिल गया, A का you get from B, and with this, so the answer would be option C. C coupled with either A or B. तो C को आप A के साथ क्लब करिए, B के साथ क्लब करिए, you will get the answer. The important part I am reiterating is that you do not need to calculate the actual numbers. I have seen people doing it, there will be stupidity. Do not calculate the actual numbers, just the concept should be fine to give you the answer, and will not take more than 30-40 seconds. I think it appeared in the prelims last year, or I think it appeared in the mains last year. So that's a question that's inspired from there. Going to the next one now. This is your next question, answer this. Okay, I think all of you already know the answer. 10 days is the answer. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes, 10 days is the answer. You know, again, you can do it in whatever way you like. I'll just tell you another way of thinking. This is simple. 24 men can do a piece of work in X days. This is given. 32 women can do the same work in X plus 8 days. Now, if you want to do it quickly, just think like this. Efficiency पे काम करते हैं. The ratio of the work done by 15 men. Now, this is an important statement for me. Why is it important? Let's say I talk about this thing. Efficiency of men. Just look at it carefully. I'll just take a couple of minutes. And upon efficiency of women. Can I say, again we'll use that unitary system, the ratios thing that we keep using. अगर ये बराबर होता, let's say this had been equal, 15 men 12 women की जगह had been 6 x men and x women. So with this, that you know that you already know that this is 3:1, the ratio of the work done. Can I say efficiency of men upon efficiency of women would have become 3/1? Please listen carefully what I'm saying. I am saying that had this been equal, 15 and 12, I am using that same concept that we keep using elsewhere in arithmetic as well, everywhere in arithmetic. Had this been equal, could I have said that the efficiency of men upon efficiency of women becomes 3/1? Yes, because it would be in this ratio. Now forget this one for the moment. Now had this been equal, this wala part, this has been 1:1. Now if you have to calculate this efficiency, in what proportion would it be? Can I say efficiency of men upon efficiency of women would be, since this is the number here, would be in the inverse proportion now. So if I have to take this one as well as this one, what I'll do is I'll multiply this with 12 by 15. You should understand this because we have already done a great deal of stuff on all these things. So what it tells you is that if you arrive at this, this gives you what? This is 4, this is 5, this becomes 12/5. So what I know is that if a man does 12 units of work, a woman does 5 units of work. So that's the meaning of efficiency here. You can arrive at it quickly, or you can, now you can do it in any way, whatever suits you. But I would still suggest that you work on proportions here. Now this x upon x plus 8, let's look at it. If I put this like this, what it tells me is this is man's work, x days. This is women's work, x plus 2 days. Now if you want to arrive at this x upon x plus 8, had the number been equal, can I say the number of days taken would be inverse of this? क्योंकि देखो number of days, this is number of days taken by men, this is number of days taken by women. It would be the reverse of efficiency. So if this is 12/5 here, this would become 5/12. Why? Because men are more efficient, so men would take less time as compared to women. But this is not it. What is the other thing that you need to multiply here? Because these men and women are not equal here, you would multiply with them as well. Now what should be multiplied with in this case? Since this is women here, it's multiplied with like this, 32/24. You could have directly written 4/3. Why do we do it like this? Because since the women, the number of the women here is more, fine, it would move this ratio in the inverse side in this case. So this thing gives you, if you calculate this, what is this? This is 5/12 into 4/3, which is 3, which gives you 5/9. So basically this x upon x plus 8 is 5/9, and you already know what this difference is. This difference is given to you as, or what is the value of x? What is this? So this becomes 10/18. Yes, this is the same as 10/18. So basically this x becomes 8 and this x plus 8 becomes 18. Now if you want, you can do it in terms of man hours, women hours, or whatever way, but if you work on efficiency directly, you can. So this is the question. This was a caselet that came in SBI PO mains last year. There were 3 or 4 questions followed by it, but this was the most important question there. If you could got this, if you could have got this quickly, you would have got others very, very quickly. Now just one last thing left for this, get it a little faster. So that's the thing that I wanted to tell you, to do it this way. I mean, if you can think like this, it acts quickly now. Just one last thing here is this chain rule. It's important at times, and people, I do not know why, face difficulties here. This is nothing new. Just look at this. Let's say there are 10 men who work for 8 hours per day, and they finish a work in 15 days. Fine, let's say this is given to you, and now if I ask you in how many days